lot of experience coming back. Tell me about the experience you guys have on both sides of the ball and what that means for this Luers program going forward.
Well, it's a completely different outlook than we had last year going into the season. Last year we were replacing 19 starters. This year we're returning 19 starters. And in all actuality, we have 30, I think I counted 33, 34 kids that have some kind of starting experience coming back this year. So we're hoping that pays off, and that'll help our confidence going into the season.
Yeah, last year, coming off 4 straight state titles, only the second program in state history to have done that, you knew there was going to have to be some regression at some point. But do these guys use last year as motivation? Did you see them use it as motivation? Because that's not the type of football that Luers fans and Luers players are used to.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, I would question the heart and desire any of these kids have that didn't use last year's motivation this offseason. We had a really, really good offseason, a great summer. So far, we like what we see this early couple practices. But, we're at the point where with the experience, these kids know the schemes on both sides of the ball. They feel comfortable with it. Whereas, last year we're coming in, and for a lot of them, they're learning anew. As I said, it's just a completely different outlook.
One of the guys that certainly had a big summer on the recruiting trail, Austin Mack, some places even rate him as the best overall player for the state of Indiana in the class of 2016. So what kind of impact is he going to have, and what is it like to have a target out there, 6'2", 200, 205, that can get the football like Austin?
His impact will it'll be predicated on our offensive line. If we can't get the ball to him because we're on our back or we're scrambling for our life, then, it doesn't matter how talented the kid is. And I think that's why we're so excited as a staff. We've got, with that experience, we've got 9 kids on the roster that have started on the offensive line. Most of these kids have started together the majority of last year. So we're hoping we're going to be a lot better up there. Austin, he can run, he can jump, he can do it. He can do it all. He can throw the ball if he wanted to. But as I said, if you can't get it to him, doesn't matter how talented you are. We're excited about Noah. Noah can spin the ball. He's a smart kid. He's a hard worker. He's a leader. These kids have been following him. Really, he's done everything right on the practice field, in the film room, everything that you could ask for as a coach. We will go as the line goes, and so as Noah goes. I think it does from a mentality, from the offensive standpoint. I think that does help. Having some continuity and knowing who the guy is going into the season, and being able to rely on him from day one. So, that in that way, it's a completely different aspect as well. We're a completely different team this year.
Yeah. Final question, kind of a two-parter. What are you guys working on as your number one goal to establish here in camp before you got Dwenger next Friday, but before the game on August 22nd against Snyder? And also, what are some of the things that you have listed as goals for this team in 2014?
We're actually looking at establishing some goals as a team. Towards the end of this week, we're going to have a team meeting and talk about our long-term, short-term goals. I hope we're a heck of a lot better tackling, blocking. It might sound cliche, but we weren't very good last year at either. We averaged 3.3 yards per carry, which is as low as I can remember. When you can't run the ball, you can't throw the ball. When teams can line up and send 4 or 5 at you, those kids get hungry to get sacks, and put us in a lot of bad positions last year, not being able to run the ball. So I think that's definitely one of our goals: establish a running game, give Noah some time. When you can run the ball, you can play action. There's a lot of things you can do, but you can't do much if you can't run the ball. We got to tackle better. We're bad in open space. We watched a lot of film. We had a lot of guys in position last year to make tackles. The effort, the desire, the heart was there to make tackles. We just weren't any good at tackling, any good at finishing. So we got to get a lot better at that. Our special teams got off to a very bad start, and it didn't end very strong. So we're hoping to be a lot better, a lot more consistent on that team as well. That's a lot of football to get better at, but with as many guys as we got coming back, we should feel like we should be tremendously better. Whether that equates to a lot of wins, that remains to be seen. But we're excited.